Hello there, viewers. My name's Sam. I'm also known as Samuel J. White, and a lot of you will know that I have decided to do some interviews for other indie authors. So, the purpose of this is to get some exposure and recognition for some other indie authors while promoting my own work. So, I decided to send out a request on Facebook for anyone who wanted to do video interviews, and I've had a really huge response. So I sent out an email list with questions on it for people to answer, and they were supposed to send videos back. However, my first person has sent back a list of written answers, so we're working with that. He may come back and do some videos. I don't know. I've given him the option to do that. His name is Jack Kregas. So what I've done here is being creative and given him a voice via text to speak and use some of his Facebook photographs to answer the questions. First of all, what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at the trailer for Jack's latest book. It's not actually over there, I just did it for effect. Here we go. So I've not had a chance to read this book yet, and it may be added to my reading list. I might be doing one of my reviews on it, hopefully at some point in the future. Let's get on with the interview. So here's the first question. What's your name, where are you from, and what's your age and weight? I am only kidding, by the way.
Here are the answers to your questions. I will also enclose a video of one of my books, Contested Ransom. Jack Kregas. Born in the USA, live in Australia but spent most of my life in Europe. Too old. Weight about right.
Wow, so that's really interested me. Jack seems to be a citizen of the world. He's born in one place, lives in another, but travels a lot, and that's really interesting. That's a really cool kind of thing to do, moving around all the place, never being in one place all of the time. I really love that. So, Jack, can you tell us briefly about where you are right now?
Sitting on the back deck where I usually write 4 hours a day.
That is really awesome. I really wish that I had a back deck that I could sit on to write books, but unfortunately I'm stuck with my little office under the stairs, which is currently out of use. And can you tell us what inspired you to write books?
First book, autobiography, which started as a letter to my aunt, but she was not interested, so I wrote a book.
That's a very interesting story. How long have you been writing for?
4 years.
That's about the same amount of time as me, but you're probably much more famous now. What sort of genres do you write in, and who is your favourite author and why?
2-volume autobiography, 5 thrillers, 1 novel, 2 books of short stories. No favorite author.
Now, Jack, we both know the deal was that you were supposed to say, my favourite author is Samuel J. White, but I'll forgive you because you've never heard of me.
Looking for your books now.
Yes, Jack, you had better be looking for my books now. Now, what is the book that you're best known for?
Autobiography, it's all about me and a few others, been selling consistently for 4 years.
Well done on that, especially because a lot of indie authors that I know really struggle to sell books, especially if they're autobiographies. So you must have a really interesting life for people to want to read about it. I think that's really cool. So next, can you give us some details about your favourite book from the ones that you've written, and give us a few details about the plot to get some readers excited about it?
Choice Cruise Lines, a novel with an euthanasia theme about 4 families.
So, more personal question, what are your favourite things to eat and drink while writing?
I am a food snob. Like Mexican in the USA.
So when I'm out and about, I get recognised as that bloke with strange curly hair and a beard. but do you get recognised by any of your readers or followers?
Sometimes, but am more known for playing poker, my other job.
Okay, so wow, his job is being a poker player. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I've been rubbish at card games ever since I was young. Closest I've ever come to playing poker was playing it in Red Dead Redemption. So again, awesome story. That's a really fascinating thing to know. Moving on to the next question. So how have you found the world of indie authors? Do you struggle or do you find it quite easy? I know a lot of people do struggle, but then there's some that find it comes to them just like that. So what are your experiences of that?
I have spoken to many authors and spoke in June at the Dublin Writers' Conference. The problem most face is how to market and sell books.
So I'd agree there. That's my personal experience of it as well, that trying to market and sell the books is the hardest bit. Once you've got books sold, then you need to keep those readers, and that's what a lot of authors are finding hard. So I agree with what's happened there, but once people have got readers, then they've got readers for life, whereas the hardest thing is getting those readers in the first place and marketing the book. I really understand where you're coming from there. So tell the viewers what you're currently working on.
I am almost finished a third book of short stories, Tall Tales 3, in pre-sale in a week or so on Amazon.
Okay, so look out for that, people. That's Tall Tales 3. That's by Jack Kregas. That will be out, as he says, on pre-order in a few weeks' time on Amazon. So tell us about anyone who you'd like to thank who has helped you along the way to becoming a successful indie author.
I am fortunate to have a fantastic editor, Susan. She brings my books to life.
So a shout out to Susie there. It would have been great if I could have Susie's details so to give them out to anyone else who would like to use her as an editor. So a shout out to all the great editors out there. I work with an editor called Anne Atwood who has been helping me out really well as well, so I completely understand where he's coming from there. An editor can help us from the stage where the book is in a manuscript stage to making it the full article, and they are the connection to the reader. So shout out to all the great editors out there. So Jack, can you tell us about your website or any social media accounts and stuff like that you have?
www.jackkregasbooks.com plus FB, Twitter, etc.
So Jack had one more thing to say which almost got missed off of the video, so here it is.
This 4 thrillers had the same hero, Joey Moretti, who is not your usual type. He enjoys killing those who he finds troublesome. Video for contested ransom. New book cover. Thanks again.
So this is the last of the answers that Jack gave me. Hopefully I can get a link to his website and his Facebook and everything in the titles below. Hopefully at some point we can get Jack back to do an actual video of himself speaking. So a little bit about myself, but this video is mainly about Jack's work. But just to explain who I am, my name was obviously Samuel J. White. I'm also better known as Sam, but I wrote a book a few years ago which only actually came out recently called A Midwinter Night's Dream. It's a sort of twisting romance, but it's not really romance, it's paranormal, there's lots of elements involved in it, and I'm trying to get some attention for that book. I'm also working on a ghost story called Maria's Photograph, which is up for pre-order now, in fact, and will be out on Halloween. And I've also got a series coming out called Derailed and Dispersed, which is another sort of horror fantasy book, all based around normal people with their lives sort of changing in a paranormal way, sort of like Stephen King, I suppose, like he does. But as I say, this video is about Jack, and I will be doing more stuff on my own work later on. So as we're still here, we're going to have another view of Jack's trailer for his book. Thank you for watching, and that's how we're going to finish the interview. Remember, as I've said, links down there in the comments to everything that Jack has done, hopefully, and There's a big subscribe button there if you haven't already subscribed, and please like this video and share it with your friends, because we're going to be doing this for a lot of authors and I want to share everyone's work with as many people as I possibly can. And thank you for watching. Here is Jack's trailer once again.